Probably the first question you're going to ask is, why am I wearing this ugly orange hat? I don't like wearing blaze orange, but sometimes you have to. And this is going to lead me into my conversation for the day. Poachers. Now, before I get started on last evening's activities, I'm going to say that I had an interesting conversation with my wife. Um, I told her, I do not necessarily hate poachers. You know, I I can understand times are tough. You take maybe an untagged deer or squirrel or whatever, use it for meat. And so right there, I can understand the stress that some people are under as far as feeding their families. However, I do not condone it in most circumstances. I actually busted these road hunters that shot this deer that was no bigger than a German Shepherd, and I caught them. I approached them, armed poachers, and wound up scaring them away and taking the deer and reporting it to law enforcement, license number, description. Nothing came of it. I'm not going to say editorialize on certain circumstances that may actually happen. However, I'm going to, at first, to explain why I'm wearing orange, say that in my estimation, I have zero fear of approaching a poacher, which probably wouldn't happen, somebody fielding a primitive weapon. Because by and large, if you're considering just raw numbers, 100% of people shooting one of these things, I would consider them, plus or minus maybe a half a percent, to be ethical people that know what they're shooting at and are not shooting out of their range, know what they're doing, and hunting legally. Next up, compound bow hunters and people that use, say, crossbows, a bowed type of thing. Generally speaking, again, maybe not 100%. Well, definitely not 100%, because I have busted compound bow poachers. But the percentage of ethical compound shooters, and whether they have an Excalibur or some kind of fancy 400 feet per second weapon, they know what they're shooting at and they're not shooting out of their range. And again, if I'm walking through the woods here and I know, using my bat sense, that there is somebody illegally hunting with a compound bow type of thing, crossbow, bow, that I don't need to wear blaze orange, because they're not just going to be shooting these expensive arrows, willy-nilly. They're going to see me as a human easily within their range, and I'm not going to get shot, so it doesn't bother me. You can probably guess why I'm wearing hunter's orange, because last night, and this is muzzle loading season, and so using a firearm is legal right now. However, it is muzzle loading season, and I am not going to tell you, buffalo you, that I can tell the difference between, at a distance, given terrain, trees, other such things, that I could tell the difference 223, 270, 4570, 308, 3030, 762, whatever. But you can tell the difference between a muzzleloader and, a Kalashnikov. There is a crack opposed to a boom. And the people last night, they were not using muzzleloaders. There was a crack up where they shouldn't even be hunting, period, with a firearm, because it's in proximity to houses, even unoccupied houses, and that's probably why they were up there. Then a second one over here, and then a third one a little farther down. Now, what I do is I don't just go running out of the house, and I am not right now. Yes, I'm looking for signs of poachers, but these are blunts, and I'm just stump shooting. I'm having fun, just hitting stumps, and this is not intended to be anything in any way, shape, or form as a confrontational tool. I will look for suspicious activity. I will judge the tenor of the wildlife out here, because I've lived here for 24 years, so I know if there's something in the woods. I just have the spidey sense. Whatever. And my first line of defense will be investigation, figuring it out, listening, like in the case of the gunshots, and then law enforcement. They are the professionals. They are the ones with the experience to field a weapon and find people and bust them. I'm not going to play Johnny Rambo out here and it's like, I'm going to go after you with a bow. Because again, I do not carry firearms around here, and I certainly don't carry them in search of poachers. I don't want to get into that situation, don't want to do the paperwork, don't want to be responsible for killing somebody that may just be feeding their families. You know, so that's it. Definitely law enforcement. I will make a play if you're in Michigan. Contact your legislator and definitely ask them, you know, why is it that there's only 2 COs committed to this county, and I'm sure it's the same otherwise. You know, we need to have more. Even if you increased it to 4, that's not that extreme in a place where poaching is rampant. You know, not like everywhere there's a poacher, but this is poacher country. And ask why we can't get a little more funding for our conservation officers. They do a heck of a job. They are truly professionals, and I like the one that I worked with last night. I don't know why I have such good luck, you know, with law enforcement. Maybe it's the way I treat them, but with respect. But I have worked with sheriff's deputies in the swamp looking for poachers, conservation officers, ad infinitum. Okay, so I'm going to end that. That's just my story today, and hopefully it was just random and it's not going to occur again this evening. It's a very good chance they were road hunters anyway by the movement of the shots. This is my bow. I am not going to be selling this bow. I like this bow, but I'm going to make more. This is the bow of 2019 and 2020. Although I'm going to be turning out paddle bows and such, this is it. I like this design. The next ones I'm doing for sale will have rawhide backing. It's a wonderful surface and it's good insurance for those of you who buy my bows and have friends that want to prove how strong they are by pulling them back to 40 inches. But let me not shoot at a poacher, because I wouldn't do that. You know, again, law enforcement. But let me lay waste to a dead tree stump. Got it. About 25 yards out. No, I strike that. It's about 50 yards out. And my eyes are closed. Got it. Got that tree stump. The world is safe. Congratulations to my British friends on the election, the landslide of Boris Johnson. I don't want to give out any secrets, but if you want to get elected in this day and age, you need to have wild hair, wild blondish yellowish hair. That works. That is the secret to success. What can I say? I had to throw that in there. I'm not going to keep doing take after take and then like telling myself I'm not going to make some kind of political humor. I had to, and I stick with it.